I started my career in the nonprofit world. A college classmate of mine and I co-founded a group that did training and microloans for aspiring entrepreneurs in our community. A lot of it I liked. It was rewarding. I was a co-founder, so I had a big say in the organization. And a lot of it was just really up my alley. Like, it was quite satisfying. But what kept nagging at me in the back of my mind was I knew, or at least I highly suspected, that I was leaving some amount of income on the table by pursuing a career in the nonprofit world. And as much as I liked the work I was doing and felt it was meaningful and impactful, I couldn't shake this feeling that, like, what am I giving up here? Am I a sucker? Like, what's really happening, and what am I missing out on, by not going to the private sector? I did go to the private sector eventually, and that move involved taking a pay cut, which is a story for another day. But I think back to that time, and as happy as I am with how things have worked out, I do tend to wish that back then somebody could have sat me down and just said to me or asked me, okay, you think you're earning not as much income as you could, and you think you could be earning more. If you were earning more, what would you do with that money? And what do you want your life to look like with you and your wife? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to give to other nonprofits? Do you want to travel a certain amount per year? Like, what's really going on, and what are you envisioning for yourself? And at that point, I probably wouldn't have had much of an idea of that, but it would be nice for someone to help kind of draw me out and help me paint a better picture of what I thought this better life would look like. And then also to sort out kind of how much would it take to get there? Like, if the goal was to buy a house, if the goal was, and this was a time when that was somewhat easier to do, if the goal is to save for a college fund or whatever it is, how much more would I have to earn to live the life I wanted in the moment and save for the future in the way I wanted to as well? And maybe the answer would have been, oh yeah, you cannot work in the nonprofit world. You have to get a job elsewhere that's going to pay a lot more. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the answer might have been, yeah, if you earned a bit more, like if you earned 10 to 20% more, you actually would have a lot more opportunities and possibilities and room to save, and you would be working toward that life that you want. And maybe it was more plausible than I would have thought. And, I don't mean to suggest that getting a 10 to 20% raise is easy, or you can snap your fingers and do it, but like, it's not beyond the pale. It's pretty doable in, like, if you give yourself a few years certainly to do that. And maybe that would have led me to either growing in the organization that I helped start. Maybe it would have meant, doing other work in that same field that was also satisfying and rewarding, but paid a bit more, and working my way up in that way. But it would have been nice to take that vague feeling of missing out and interrogate it a little bit, and have someone ask me, like, what do you think you're missing out on exactly? And what do you want your life to be? And then to help create a roadmap for how to get there. And again, like, I accept that the answer might always have been you have to work in different fields. But again, I wonder if there was a way for me to, I don't know, make more of an impact in the nonprofit world, move up the ranks there, and also just have the life that I wanted anyway. That's what I hope to do in my financial planning business now, is help people draw that out, because I think a lot of folks in the public service and elsewhere, they know they sacrifice some amount of income, and there is that feeling of missing out. There is that feeling of like, oh man, I'm not making as much progress. I haven't got as much money as people I know who are in other fields. And true as that might be, a really important question to ask yourself is, okay, then what do you want exactly? Like what do you want your life to be? And then how do we get there? And how much money will it take to do that? And then can you do that in your field or in a related one? Or is there a way to cobble that together in a way that still honors your values? It's not an easy question. It's not an easy process. And getting there, of course, is tough. But there often is a pathway there. There often is a roadmap. And I think that if you take that approach of learning for yourself, really, what you want out of life and what you're looking to do, and getting some guidance there, that could be a really clarifying, feeling, can give you a lot of catharsis. The opposite approach is you just say, like, well, I guess I can't make money in the nonprofit sector, so I guess I'll just go to business school or become a consultant or become an investment banker, whatever high-paying job you can insert there, which you'll like or you won't like. But the point is, if you don't know what enough is for yourself, you don't know what you're striving for, then nothing is ever enough. And even when you do make a lot more money, you're still not probably going to feel as though you're really where you want to be, because you don't know where you want to be. And so just having that North Star of like what you want your life to look like, even if that will change in the coming years, and having some roadmap for getting there in your current field or a similar one, that can be pretty powerful. And so if you're interested in pursuing that and doing that exercise, then of course reach out, and I'd love to hear more about what's on your mind and what you're looking to in the coming years.